Welcome to Singapore. Today is Monday and it's going to be a very busy but also very exciting week because tomorrow I'm kicking off a new project which I've been preparing for the last month. A lot of demos has been done, a lot of research, a lot of preparation, and tomorrow we'll finally give it a go. I'm really looking forward to it because the client is making 100 million revenue from their online business, and this project is aiming to push this number forward by streamlining their processes and removing bottlenecks in their workflows with custom AI engineering. With some realistic estimation, we're aiming to 10x or maybe 20x the creative output of the team without adding additional headcount. And I have very high confidence it's going to work because I already built some prototypes and proof of concept and the feedback was very great. But until then, I need to make sure that everything is in good shape, the demo, the slides, the documentation. So tomorrow everything goes smoothly. And on Thursday, I'm flying to Singapore for a few days to attend AI Engineer Conference. This event is a big deal because they only do it in San Francisco and London. And it's the first time they host it in Southeast Asia in Singapore. And of course, I cannot miss it. The agenda looks very interesting. There are some exciting workshops, sponsors, and also satellite events. So I'm looking forward to meet real builders, to meet people from leading AI labs. We'll talk a lot about AI in this video, and I will share some insights from the front line where things are actually happening. And this has been my desk for the last couple of months. And look at this view. It's just beautiful. One of the principles that I'm trying to cultivate this year, I actually read it in Elon Musk's biography, is to delete, delete, delete. So this is one of the main rules of his life and business. And what I'm trying to do this year is to really delete everything which doesn't serve me. Delete short-term people, short-term projects, delete things which drain energy from me, which drain time. And of course, it's more like a journey rather than like one cut-off. So I'm doing it, repeating it, making mistakes. And you might think like, okay, why I'm telling you this in the gym? Because this also applies to training. And I've been doing a lot of experience before with surfing and mixing with lifting and high intensity and cardio, but I never really had like a proper schedule. It was a bit chaotic. And I was going through like a difficult period in life that I thought, okay, that discipline would really help me to stay in the lane. And I just started to do this boring push-pull leg splits. And I must say, after a few months, I'm really happy with the progress because if your goal is to gain muscle, this is like the most straightforward way. I feel very positive about this meeting and about this project, and we're only getting started. In the last couple of months, I switched to Codex as my primary development tool, and I must say I really like it. I really like the interface, how to manage a few parallel sessions at the same time. It's just very intuitive to work even on a few different projects at the same time. It really depends on the power of your laptop. But most importantly, I use it every day for like my daily task as my personal assistant, and it's been great. I connected tools, chats, some social media APIs to get access to some posts and content. And tomorrow I'm flying out for 4 days in Singapore. It's a very short trip, but I want to take the most out of that. First of all, I want to understand who is going there and which kind of opportunities we can create for each other. Of course, I cannot get the official list of participants, but there are a few satellite events on Luma with open attendee lists. So I scraped these events. So I had a list of 1,000 people. I scraped their LinkedIn profiles. So I enriched this list by scraping their LinkedIn profiles. And then I told Codex what is my criteria for qualification to sort this list. And in the end, it selected 50 people based on my criteria. And I pushed them to the LinkedIn campaign to send connection requests and introductions before the conference. And it sounds like a trivial task, but it will take days for a personal assistant to arrange. And it's funny because I'm building pretty advanced systems and products for my clients, but I rarely use the same mindset for my own life. But as I said, it's changing, and I try to delegate all the tedious tasks to Codex right now. And if you want to learn more about how I use it for development, to do client projects, and to do all the business stuff, but also in my daily life, just leave a comment below. I just finished reading this book, which is called The Infinity Machine. It was released maybe a month ago, and it's about Demis Hassabis, the founder of Google DeepMind. It's his biography, but it's actually the book about whole AI development in general, not only about the founders, but also about the technology. So this book is pretty technical. They go into depths about deep learning, reinforcement learning, about transformers, and how basically the products which influence our daily lives right now, like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Claude, how they actually originated and how they were developed, and also what drives people behind these products. And I know it's only me, but it might be the book of this year for me. It's very inspirational. It's also very informative. You can learn a lot about how these people think. You can learn about how major AI products work. And it can also give you a bit of a glimpse in the future, like where it's all going, because knowing the motivation of these people, knowing what drives them, we can also adjust our expectations, like we can anticipate something. And it doesn't matter if you are just a user of these tools like ChatGPT or Claude, or you're AI practitioner, or you are entrepreneur. I think it's really crucial to understand this technology, which is changing lives of millions and billions of people daily. And I think this book is an excellent start. Amazing. Hello. How are you? So welcome to Singapore. It's nice to be back. Singapore is very hot. It's very organized, it's very clean. And also a lot of famous AI companies and startups are located here. So we're here for business. And the main event starts tomorrow, but today we have the first meetup in the afternoon. And before then, I just want to explore a bit, go shopping, have some nice coffee. And I'm super excited to meet other builders, other AI enthusiasts.
It's our first time here, first event, but we want to
have you, it can blow out. It tokenize.
If something goes wrong, you don't burn your entire budget.
To an AI engineer that sits alongside you that has context,
Even though they might be easy and compelling in that way, is that they don't give you as much control or freedom. You don't have control.
Okay, the workout is done. Did 50 push-ups, 50 pull-ups, leg raises, lunges, but it's crazy hot. It's like working out in hammam. Whew, so humid, I'm not used to that. I'm a bit disappointed with the workout movement here in Singapore because 7:30 a.m. I'm still the only one here in this beautiful place. So yeah, Singapore has a lot to catch up with. Now, I don't know, I don't even know how to engineer the shower now, but let's try. Dress properly, have some nice breakfast, and then go to the event. The first day of the event is over, and we're wrapping up with some dinner and networking. This beautiful view of Singapore skyline. Yeah, it was quite intense. The whole day workshops. I went to workshop from EXA. It's like a search tool for agents. The one from Cursor, one from OpenAI, Codex, and Google Anti-Gravity. The last two, like, I didn't really learn that much, but what I really loved is the workshop from Cursor. And it was about something which I've been actually practicing in the last couple of months for my personal projects, but also with my client projects. And it's going from the concept of agentic coding to software factory. And is Elon Musk famously said that building a factory is way harder than building a product. So what I mean, I'm coming from product management. I've been doing it for many years now, and my job was always to manage the team, to make sure that the team knows what to do, where they're going, but I didn't really go to like the depths of their work. I didn't really go depths of I didn't really review their work that much from engineering point of view, only from product. And then with agentic coding, everyone becomes a developer again. So you go back to checking what actually agent is doing, like micromanage it a bit. But now LLMs are so capable that they don't even need us to look at the code. I would say if you don't work with some medical health data, financial stuff, so we don't even need to look at the code, we just need to review the outcome. It means that treating agents as a factory and assembling the factory becomes the new step in this evolution. And this is something which I've been doing, spending a lot of time preparing the specs, preparing the requirements, and then planning it in a way that what can be done in parallel, what can be done in sequence, and then basically only reviewing and approving the work. Agents create the tasks, agents write code, agents do the testing, agents can even review each other's pull requests. And basically we went deeper into this topic, and it was like very, very exciting. One last thought for today I want to share before I go home is that a lot of people are anxious about AI. There are a lot of roles which are going to be disrupted. And this is for sure not a time for anyone to just sit and wait, be relaxed, or like be confident about that. But that being said, today, while I was listening, while I was discussing, while I was asking questions and listening to what other people are asking, I get an impression that people with my skill set are getting actually more competitive now. Why? Because while individual roles are getting disrupted or even getting threatened, people who can wear several hats during the day, and people who can manage other people, people who can lead the team, show leadership, people who can people who are resilient to context switching are going to have a great time, because every single task related job, if there is instruction for a task which can be understood by human, it's a clear instruction with clear input, clear output, this job is going to be automated. And people who navigate uncertainty, and people who can give instruction, who can plan ahead, who can reverse engineer, and who can kind of take ownership of chaos, I will put it this way, I think it's a really great time to be competitive and actually elevate the game. So that's the positive thought which I have in the end of the first day. And I'm excited to push it forward.
Because you rely on an LLM to do all the
an hour with a few tokens, your competitors can do the same too.
Today is the second day of the event, and it's basically packed with 15-minute slots from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. A lot of cool stuff from leading AI labs, from politicians, from startups. I really like the speech from Singapore minister of something who built a open flow agent for himself. I liked presentation from Figma. In general, a lot of really cool ideas. One topic that everyone is repeating again and again and again, starting from Stripe to OpenAI to Google, is that there's really no need for human developers to write code anymore. It's all about specs. It's about creating an environment for agents to work efficiently and safely. There is a lot of ways how it can be fucked up, right? So that's why it's important to have like sandboxes. It's important to have agents work in some isolated environment, and there's definitely a need for human in the loop. But everyone agrees that the models are so capable right now that the job of anyone who is building software product is all about collaboration, for better and for worse. And the ones who adapt to this and master this new game will benefit from this, and the ones who don't, the ones who resist and still writing the code manually or checking it manually, I know they might lose to the ones who don't. And another big topic is, of course, local LLMs, and Google Gemma gets a lot of like very good feedback from stage and from all the booths, and that relates to the book which I recommended before, The Infinity Machine, about Google DeepMind, because foundations which they were building for like a decade ago now like enable Google to take leadership in this niche, because when it comes to like cloud models, obviously Gemini is very capable, but I think it's not really like the industry standard. But when it comes to local models, apparently Gemma 4 is a like absolute winner. I think OpenAI and Codex have absolute blast here, because they launched this app like 2 or 3 months ago, and it's already like extremely popular. A lot of people who were playing with Cloud Code already converted to Codex, including me. And here they have like the strongest presence, huge booth, giving away credits, giving away swag. Of course, they are the ones who can afford it, but it's a really good example of like big vendors really trying to acquire as many like users as possible, as many prosumers as possible now, because it's not only software developers who are using these tools for coding, it's anyone who's doing any knowledge work can benefit from this. And again, because they're subsidized, there are like billions and trillions of money invested, and they're doing quite well. Like they definitely got me, at least for now. All right, the second day is over. It's now 6:30 p.m. We started at 8. It's been a very intense day with so much content. Every 15 minutes a new topic. Not all of them were relevant, but some of them were like very insightful. For sure, it's not like founder-oriented, like networking event, right? It's more about like learning from real builders, learning from these companies who are actually building all this technology, like Stripe, Figma, OpenAI, Google, Cursor, you name it. And yeah, for me, it's like feeling like I'm in university again, because of course I'm learning a lot online. I'm learning a lot by doing, but learning from people who actually building the stuff is super helpful. So I came here really to level up my knowledge in what's actually going on from the front lines. I'm already in the airport, arrived way too early, which is a bit of a shame because I didn't want to leave the conference. Today was the last day, but actually I find it, I think every single talk was an absolute banger. And there are like 3 topics which I would like to highlight. The first one was about like agent orchestration, safety, guardrails, and this kind of stuff. So it's all about not how to use an agent, but how to build the whole organization of agents which can run autonomously, safety, reliability, etc. The second topic was more about the mindset. It's about like, how to adopt this experimentation as an engineer, as a product person, as a business owner. And the third one was about robotics. There was a demo which was very touching, honestly. There was a handicapped lady and they had like a brain scan device on her head, and she was drawing with a robotic arm. This kind of case demonstrates that AI can also enable some people who are not able to do some specific jobs due to disabilities and bring them to the job market. Now, as I'm waiting for my flight back to Bali, I think it's an excellent chance for me to wrap up this video. And if you watched until now, you're probably asking yourself like, okay, it all sounds cool, but what I have to do with this? What's the value for me here? And what can I actually take home from all these conversations? I think no matter if you are using AI every day or if you're building AI or you never heard of that, it's really important to stay curious. There is so much uncertainty happening, like frontier labs, governments, everyone is competing with each other, but the result is that our economy has been shaped around knowledge work and about scarcity of skills, scarcity of knowledge. And now we're entering to the era of knowledge abundance. It means that many things will become irrelevant and other things will be transformed. So it's really important to stay alert, but also to stay curious. And if you are worried about how this whole AI thing is going to impact your job, impact your life, staying curious and having high agency, I think, is the most safe way to go for that. You need to be the person who has always the engine on, the person who is really on top of things. If you only tried ChatGPT before, you need to level up the game, right? So try to find time every single day to try different tools, just to play with them. Most of them are free or they're very cheap. Don't stick to one model like ChatGPT or Claude. Try all of them. If you read in the news that there is like a new model is doing like cool things, try to play with this. Go a little bit more technical, try to use it in the terminal. Every single day, find time, like if you've been practicing a new skill, to apply it in your daily life. The nice analogy is like if you learn to play a musical instrument, for example, you do it for the sake of doing, you do it for the sake of the process, right? It's like deliberate, intentional practice. You need to apply exactly the same mindset, no matter where you are on your journey. If you're only using ChatGPT, or if you're building your AI tools or you're building software with these coding agents, you also need to level up the game, because instead of only relying on tools like Cloud Code or Codex, try to build your own tools. Instead of building agents with the popular frameworks, try to build your own. Try to understand what is actually happening under the hood, because frontier labs are giving us tools which are very powerful and very fast and very convenient. But with that, we also give them the full ownership of our workflows and our data. And if tomorrow, let's say, Frontier Lab decides to change the rules for some reason, everything will fall apart. That's why it's really important to actually understand how these transformers work, how LLMs work, how agent frameworks are working, and really try to get hands dirty, roll up the sleeves, and build them yourself. The other day, I had a conversation with my friend about basic stuff, about how to automate things with Claude. And he asked me if he can hire someone to explain this thing to him, and he wants to hire someone to set up the simple automation of like email, CRM, and this kind of stuff. And I told him, like, man, if you don't understand these kind of basics, you are basically cooked. Like, don't hire anyone. Spend 1 hour a day learning how it works, because this is the only way. If you don't understand the basics now, if you delegate this understanding to someone, it's going to be extremely hard to catch up. So practice number one is stay curious. The second thing is, if you have a job now, or you have some source of income, and you see this whole opportunity with AI that you want to start your thing, or you believe that everything can be achieved through the help of AI, hold on here. Job market is shifting in a way that it's really hard to predict. And if companies needed the whole team before, now they need one person who understands how to work with agents. So my message is, and I'm also speaking from my own experience, if you have a job which you don't hate, or if you have, or if you are freelancing, or you're running your business which generates your income, don't quit and go all into your new AI venture or your AI journey. Keep your job, build your AI products on the side, and once they generate more money than your job, you can quit. Why I'm telling you this? Because there are so many success stories from internet, from X, where people sharing how they went from 0 to hundreds of thousands in a week, how these crazy startups are raising a lot of money for their project. Keep in mind that a lot of this media is to sell you something on the first hand, and also a lot of these people, they have a backup plan, right? So if this venture doesn't work for them, they have a couch to crash, or they have some safety net which can help. And it's really comfortable position to speak very loud about your success. Message number 2, don't go all in on this. Keep your current income stream and keep experimenting. And the third message is to really structure your day so you always have time and a window to learn all this stuff, because it's the same as going to the gym, it's the same as learning any other skills. This knowledge really rewards consistency. If you're doing small steps every single day, in both in your individual life but also in your organization, if you're running a team or you're part of the team, make sure that these practices are embedded in your daily work. So keep this in mind, that it's not really about your skills become irrelevant. It's about your agency, and also it's about your outputs might become irrelevant compared to other people who have higher agency. For example, while I'm recording this video, one Codex agent is fixing the bugs and another agent is reviewing the other agent's pull requests, and it all happening while I'm doing this. So my message is that a person with deep vertical knowledge and a whole team of agents like that will outperform the whole studio, and the same applies to design, the same applies to non-technical stuff like legal, whatever, you name it. I think the biggest risk is to be too afraid, to look stupid, to be a student again. And people who stay curious, who love to learn, might have a massive advantage. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, drop a comment below. I'll read and respond to all of them. And if you want to work with me, there is a link in the description, and I see you in the next one.